gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome to the stage, Tom Allen! Welcome! Hello, are you well? Good, are you up for a good time? This is a bit like a prostitute whenever I ask that question. It's so lovely to be here in, I know what happens a lot of the time when I walk out on stage, because I've seen it before, so don't worry, but what tends to happen, and it tends to be with the heterosexual men, I don't mean to generalise, but what tends to happen with the heterosexual men when I walk out on stage is they do one thing, they do this, they fold their arms. They fold their arms and then they go, oh no, I'm not sure about this bloke, he might try and have sex with me. He might try and recruit me, and I always say the truth of the matter is, we are recruiting at the moment! So if you sign up on the way out, I get a £25 voucher in John Lewis. Which will be so useful because I'm saving for some new coasters at the moment. So, I always think as well, like I should start off by telling you a bit about me, because you might have come here tonight not knowing anything about me, in which case you're probably here as somebody's boyfriend. But my name's Tom, and recently I was described as being like Kirsty Allsop trapped inside Phil Spencer. So I thought I'd have that. And I'm gay, yeah, still gay, yeah, if anything, it's getting worse. You wouldn't clap if you'd seen me do it. Completely gay. I mean, these handkerchiefs, they don't wear themselves. And I have tried fitting in with heterosexual society at various points. Like once I went to a football match. But somebody called me mate, and I thought, no thanks. And the thing to remember with me is I've never really fit in. Like I realise I come up here and I sound all posh, probably quite intimidatingly so to you. But I'm actually from a very ordinary family, very ordinary London family. Actually, they speak almost entirely in Cockney rhyming slang. They're always talking about the stairs. And as an example, recently it was my dad's birthday. I bought him a voucher for afternoon tea. My brother, on the other hand, rented him a skip. My dad was over the fucking moon! And I never fit in as a child. I remember my parents be trying to get me ready for school. I'd be swishing round in a silk dressing gown, pretending to be Noel Coward. Get in the car! Mother, please. And yes, I always insisted on doing the Easter table centrepiece using flowers from the garden. And yes, I still had to come out. Now, I remember, as a child, all the other children, they wanted to build a fort. I built a conservatory. And then as a teenager, everyone wanted to sneak into clubs and pubs. I wanted to sneak into Laura Ashley. And then in my 20s, everyone wanted to settle down, get a job. I wanted to be a stand-up comedian, and a gay stand-up comedian at that. And now I'm in my 30s. I know, I look younger, don't I? But now I'm in my 30s, I don't need to explain myself to anybody because I finally made it as a gay stereotype! I've done it! I'm 35! I live with my mother! Nothing wrong with men in their 30s living with their mothers, of course, is there? They made a film about that, didn't they? It's called Psycho! The what? Get a flat! Well, I will. That is an unusual heckle. Advice. Well, I'm working on it. Why do you think I've come all this way? To do a show for you. Though I could afford one here. Oh, all right, I'll live here then forever. Is this how you get people to live here? They visit and then you go, we'll give you a flat. Come live. Interesting people. What I'd say is, no, I know a lot of people out there will be going, oh, the gays, why do they keep going on about being gay, the gay, I don't know who these people are, the gays, why do they keep, they've got the gay marriage now. And it's true, we do have things like gay marriage, or as I like to call it, garage. And Garage is designed to bring equality so that gay people can finally be as miserable as straight people. And it comes up against opposition. Even now, you see it from a lot of like religious groups and clubs, the Catholic Church. And you can understand why. I'm sure we all remember the Bible stories from school. Do you remember them? Do you remember the one where Jesus was stood on the mount and everyone would come to hear what he had to say? Very much like, you with me. And he stood on the mountain and he said, verily I say to thee, love thy neighbour as thy love thyself, look after the poor, heal the sick, feed the hungry, don't start fights or wars, just look after each other, love each other, and you'll all be fine. But I cannot stand them fucking queers! Oh, I think it's disgusting what they do to each other. I mean, why have they got to be so up in your face about it all the time? I mean, who's the wife? It's a very famous parable. So you can understand why they have a problem. And as far as I can tell from the outside, like marriage, right, for anybody, it seems to be basically where you go, I don't have a very good credit rating. But you have got a job. If we can combine, then we can get closer to achieving my dream of owning my own house. So what happens is people have a big party about getting married, then have a big marquee about getting married. Getting married is just signing a contract though, isn't it? We don't do it for any other kind of contract, do we? You don't have a marquee when you sign a phone contract, do you? Do you? Do you? Quite frankly, you should do, because some of those 2-year deals are much more binding. And you sign the contract, and then afterwards, married couples, what they seem to do is they go, right, we're going to save up a deposit, and then we're going to try and buy a house, and then they buy the house, and then they go, right, don't worry about anything else, just keep paying off the mortgage. That's what we're going to do now, just keep paying off the mortgage. Yeah, I don't really like you anymore, just keep paying off the mortgage. That's what we're going to do now, just keep paying off the mortgage. Yeah, we'll have a chance, if you want, if it shuts you up, just try not to touch me, just keep paying off the mortgage. That's what we're going to do, just keep paying off the mortgage. Yeah, we're going on holiday together, because it's cheaper, just don't look at me, just keep paying off the mortgage, just keep paying off the mortgage. Yeah, I know you had an affair, tend to blind eye, just keep paying off the mortgage, just keep paying off the mortgage. And then as you get a bit older, it seems to turn into a bit of a game, and basically whoever outlives the other one wins a house! You win a whole house! It's a great game. So I can see why so many of you signed up for it. So anyway, now, what I have to do is the bit I have to do by law. No one really enjoys it. It's where I talk to people who sat near the front. So we'll get out of the way, nice and quickly. So, what I was a bit mean to you earlier, what's your name? Graham. Where are you from? Arbroath, Graham. And what do you do for a living?
I've got many jobs.
You've got many jobs, Graham. All right. Let's hear them all. You're an architect, yeah? You dabble in photography, but not all the time. A bit of journalism, Graham. What sort of scandals are happening in Arbroath? Did the smoky break? What? It's all football based. Mate. Football mate. Oh, you're doing that again, I see. Get into that, Graham. Please don't cough like that. Oh my goodness, I thought I was in a period drama for a moment there. If there's blood in the handkerchief, you'll be dead in the next scene. It's all the smoke, of course. Graham, that's interesting. What sort of things have you built then, Graham? Everything starts with like musing with you, doesn't it? Lots of things. What sort of things have you built? Anything we might know? Did you build the V&A? No, we're not interested. Right, who are you here with? You're here on your own, you're like me? Oh, Graham, what are we like, us balls, turning up? Oh, that's nice. Have you been talking to these people? Not yet. Did you say hello to him when you sat down? No, not now, Graham. Who are you? What is your name? Helen, welcome. Where are you from? Are you from Arbroath? Dundee. I was there earlier where the V&A is. Oh, Helen, well done. And guess you should go there and build it again. Helen, what do you do in Dundee? You run a pub? What pub? Sure, open some sweets. Sorry, Helen. No, not you, Helen. You open it. What's a pub? The Anchor. Yeah, is it? They like it. What sort of pub is it? It's a good one. She likes it. She's a drunk, though. Of course she will. Who are you here with tonight, Helen? Husband, what's your name? Derek. Welcome, Derek. Do you run the pub as well with Helen? No, what do you do? You drink in the pub. Is that how you met? No. How did you meet? No, Helen, how? What happened? Helen just went, oh no! What happened? How did you meet Derek? You met? You met at a party in 1987. Well, that doesn't sound so bad so far. And what sort of party was it though, Derek? Was your friend's 18th? Oh, that's nice. But, and what, was there something embarrassing about it? No, oh Helen, what's the matter? Why are you crying? So how long have we been together? 31 years? No. Yeah, 31 years? No, Helen, what happened? Something happened in the middle. You had a big gap in the middle, did you, Derek? What happened? So how long, you were together for how long after the birthday party? 6 months, and then you broke up. And then when did you get back together again? 8 years ago. So you had 20 and a half years away from each other. Why was that? You dumped him, Helen. Why? Because you need to go and start your dream in Dundee. And did you meet in Dundee? Yeah, of course. And what? And so, but that's all right. How did you meet again? Facebook. Well, you always carried a torch for Helen. Maybe. Oh, Helen, that's nice. What do you mean? Maybe? Helen says. Well, that's cute, isn't it, Helen? Not that bothered. I thought people might have clapped at it or something. No, forget it, Graham. It's too late. They're not like that in Dundee. Look at them bastards happy. Fuck 'em. Terrible, isn't it? Terrible. All right, well, and on the other side of Graham, who are you? Young people coming to the show? Who are you? What's your name? Sandy, like in Greece. Yes. Sandy and Jamie and Matthew. Sandy, Jamie, Matthew. And how do you know each other? Friends. And from school? Are you at school now? Oh, fine. Okay, let's not feel awkward when I start. I mean, how old are you? What? 16. So if I start talking about rude things, it's not going to get awkward. No, that's fine. Because there's not going to be like 14-year-olds and then I start talking about something terribly rude and everybody's like, there are children here. But okay, fine. And so you're at school. What? So you're doing GCSEs or are you doing? Oh, sorry, Highers. How they going? Good. Mine isn't. Maths isn't. Why not? It's very hard. What are all the best things? All the things worth doing. Stop that, all of you. And where are you now? Stop it. I didn't mean that. Where do you live in Arbroath? Dundee as well. Give me a cheer if you're from Dundee. Give me a cheer if you're from Arbroath. Oh, they're rough, aren't they? I'm going to fight afterwards. They'll beat each other up. Oh, that's nice. So do you like Dundee? Yeah. What are you doing your highest as well, Jake? Yeah, what are you doing? Maths, chemistry, and biology, and physics. And you held out 3 fingers there, and then you listed 5 things. There might be a reason somebody's struggling with maths. Welcome, hello. You look like nice, polite people. What is your name? You left your coat on your knee. Not sure if you're going to stay. Who are you? Wendy, like the house. And Wendy, where are you from? Just outside Arbroath, not in the city centre. It's too busy, too many people, can't stand it. And smoke. And Wendy, what do you do outside Arbroath? You look after children. What, as in your own children or other people's children? In a nice way. Oh, that's nice. Now I feel like a right arsehole. Unfortunately tonight isn't the Bride of Britain Awards. What a shame. Wendy, who have you brought with you tonight? Your husband, what is your name? Gary, I'm the Gary. Well, no, Gary, you're not from around here. Where are you from? South of the border? Yeah, what? Chatham in Kent? Oh, I try and get away from these people. Follow me, Gary, you're from Chatham. Oh, it's rough there, isn't it? What did you do down there? Work with the dogs? You work at what? You work up here? Yeah, well, what do you do? BMI Healthcare? What's that? General Manager of Medical Equipment. What's your favourite bit? What's your favourite bit of medical equipment? Have you got a favourite you can't choose between your children, can you? What's the most impressive one you deal with? CT scanners, do you do them? CT scanners? That's CT, not city scanners. CT scanners. What, you sell them? No. You manage a service on them. Do you service them yourself? No. What do you do? jobs you can look forward to, guys. Work hard, just have a job that no one understands. CT scanners, what? What did you... What? I don't even care anymore. Just staring at you. What? So how long are you going to do? What? Gary, what? You keep talking when I'm talking. Wendy, is he like this all the time? How long have we been together? 32 years. Still no clapping. No, forget it. Just outside Arbroath, 32 years. How did you meet? It wasn't on Facebook then, was it? No, how was it? In a pub? Was it in Dundee? No. What? Here in Arbroath? What were you doing up here in Arbroath? You have no business being here, Gary. You were at you're in the army? Well, in the army now, yeah. Stationed. What? Do you know from the army? No. Yeah. What? Stationed here in Arbroath, in the regiment. What's the regiment here in Arbroath? Part 4-5 Commando. And, well, I think you should wear underwear. And, especially how cold it is up here. And so you up here, and you wandered down to the pub, and you met Wendy, and then you got married. Well, that's a nice story, isn't it? Yeah, 32 years ago. Do you look good in uniform? You did then. But you said you did. Well, oh no, Wendy, it's all gone. Oh. Does he still have it? Does he still have it? Does he put it on sometimes? Sometimes. Can't zip it up. Oh. Get Velcro. Oh, that's nice. This is nice. Hello. You look a bit like me if I had tattoos. Anyway, so... Listen, let's make a start. We've all had enough. Now, I just want to say, it's so... That cough is terrible. Are you alright? What's happened? Is it some sort of typhoid or something? Cholera? Yeah, it's fine. Well, do you have any equipment that can help with the cough, Gary? He probably does, but it'll take about 4 hours to explain if he has or he hasn't got it. Anyway. No. So, no, what was it? Yeah, no, it's so lovely to be here. Well, I mean, I say that. But no, it is. And what is a show other than a distraction from our own inevitable deaths? And I do think, what a time we're living through. What, there's so much to stress about at the moment. There's so many things to worry about. We've got to worry about Trump. We've got to worry about Russia, North Korea, Brexit, global warming. Then there's that shortage of lettuces. Do you remember that? Oh, I suppose we're disappearing all over the place. And then, there's all this pressure on us all the time. We've all got to take selfies, short but selfish. Doesn't matter what day it is. It's your grandmother's funeral. Shut up, get your nips out. And then we've all got to do mindfulness. Mindfulness, what is it? It's just breathing and thinking about your legs. And then there's all this pressure to like get in a relationship, get a six-pack, have a sex party. I can't have a sex party. I worry too much about the hoovering. And I do think, imagine being a small child now. Imagine being born into this world. Can you imagine? Like as an example, recently I was in Marks and Spencer's because, Helen, I have a fabulous life. And I was walking around the Marks and Spencer's and it was one of the warm days and there was a little boy walking around with his mum and the little boy had taken his jumper off and the mum said to him, if you don't want to wear that jumper, you've got to carry it. I'm not going to carry it for you, you've got to carry that jumper. And out of nowhere, the little boy, he turned to his mum and he went, "You've ruined my life!" Which I thought was a ridiculous thing to say because she probably has ruined his life, but he won't know that for years and years. Loads of therapy. And then later on, I was in the queue to pay for a chunky chocolate flapjack. I love a chunky chocolate flapjack, and I've been to your Marks and Spencer's as well. And I was standing there in the queue, and the same little boy was there, and he was there with his little sister in the pushchair, right? And he'd learned to play the game peekaboo with his little sister. So you can imagine everyone in the queue in Marks, they love this, don't they? They love this. Oh, this is wonderful. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, this is what we came out of the house to see. Something beautiful like this. Not to buy this pair of elasticated waisted jeans. And you can imagine the game peekaboo, right? Imagine it. Peekaboo, it's a lovely thing to see. Peekaboo, the little girl, was really laughing. On the third time, though, he got a bit bored. Peekaboo, smash her in the face! And then what happened was the little girl, she really lost her fucking shit! And she did that screaming that kids sometimes do, okay? And then screaming, and then everybody turned round, and the mannequins turned round, and the people in next door turned round. And the mum comes over and says, what on earth's happened here? Then the little boy starts to cry. In that way, that little boy sometimes cries, which is by talking and sobbing at the same time. So the mum said, what on earth's happened here? The little boy turned to his mum and went, I smashed her in the face! And the mum said, well, why did you smash her in the face? And the little boy looked at his mum and went, because I wanted to! Which is actually a very good argument. And the mum was getting really annoyed by this point. She said, "No, why did you really do it? Why did you really do it?" And then the little boy looked at his mum and said, perhaps the strangest thing I've ever heard a small child say. He looked at his mum and went, "I can't be what you want me to be." Just peculiar. But how much pressure is this child under? He's had to learn to talk like a darling with a social conscience. And when you think now children can get bullied online and stuff, when I was a child, all you had to worry about was turning up at school. Are there any teachers here? Somebody in the back? How lovely, you put your hand up as well. Practice what you preach. What age group do you teach there? Secondary. Oh, so sort of a bit old, like, what all ages? What do you teach there? 12 to 18. What do you teach? Business, education, and computer science. Sounds a bit boring. Anyway, no offense. But are there any primary school teachers here? Yes, they're very tired one over there. Like now you have like TAs in the classroom, I understand. I went to school long before the territorial army. For education. And it was a time when you just had one teacher. Do you remember there's just one teacher, and then you'd have like 35 or 50 million children in one classroom. You'd just basically be in the background, basically just sat there watching one person just have a nervous breakdown before your very eyes. And I remember my teacher at one point being like, right, okay, we're going to do maths now, maths, okay, yeah, tens, hundreds, thousands, okay, yeah, put those bricks away, okay, now we're going to do reading, come and sit on the mat, read a bit, can you read? Doesn't matter, we don't have time. Okay, now we do geography, do you know where this is? Doesn't matter, we don't own it anymore. Okay, now we're going to do art, everyone draw this thing, all over drawings, yeah, gold stuff for you, smiley face for you, house point for you, what does it mean? No one fucking knows. Okay, now we do crafts, we're going to make a picture of a house out of pasta, it's a useless skill, probably the closest your generation will ever get to owning their own house. Okay, unless you get married, or move to Arbroath, and then, okay, now you're gonna learn about nature. Everyone go to the playground, so I can have a drink. Go to the playground, go and get a leaf, now bring your leaves in, don't bring the mud in, you stupid prick. Bring your leaves in, okay, now hold up the leaf, now draw your leaf, now sketch it, now trace all day. You'll never get a job unless you can trace. It's the most important skill in the world, trace all day if you must, and colour it within the lines. No one will love you unless you can colour it within the lines. Maybe that's why he left me. Yeah, do a bark rubbing if you want, Lindsay, you short little bitch. Alright, everyone take your leaves and put them on the wall and do them in the shape of a tree. And do it nicely because it's for open day. But you don't understand, but my job fucking depends on it. Okay, now we'll do history. First World War, everybody died. Now we're going to write a poem about that, inexplicably. Maybe learn about onomatopoeia, very useful skill for later life. Okay, now we'll do the Tudors and the Stuarts. Everyone got their head chopped off, but in a fun way. Okay, now we'll do the Egyptians, Queen Nefertiti. Okay, draw Nefertiti, okay, Queen Nefertiti's way. Okay, now you're going to mummify your teddy bear. You're going to wrap your teddy bear in toilet paper. It teaches you. Fuck off! But it keeps you quiet for 5 fucking minutes while I can try poppers. Okay, now you can design a sarcophagus for your teddy bear. Coffin for your teddy bear, so we'll think about being dead. One day we'll all be dead, cold and dead in the ground, which I wish I was. I wish I was dead, you bunch of fucking... Oh my goodness, children. It's time to go out and play. Play. And that's all you had to worry about. It was a very stressful time. The only other thing as well that really was stressful for me was if it was someone's birthday. Like, I do think the social world for 9-year-olds is really quite exhausting. Like, say it was someone's birthday in your class. Say it was like Ryan's birthday. Ryan would be bought a pad of pre-printed invitations on which he would have had to write his details. So you basically get an invitation in his handwriting, which basically read, Ryan is having a birthday on the 23rd of May! Please come to my party. And then there'd be a dotted line, which you'd hope would be perforated, but you'd have to get the scissors. And then underneath that, there'd be a dotted line. Oh, sorry, under the dotted line, there'd be a form you'd have to fill in. So you'd have to write, Tom, would like, / would like not, please delete as appropriate, to come to your party. And if you had that slip in and said you were going, that would be a contract. A contract on which you could not renege. And then what would happen is you'd forget all about Ryan's birthday party until the day of Ryan's birthday party, and then your mum would walk in and she'd say, ah, shit! It's Ryan's birthday party, we ain't bought nothing, you can't go empty-handed. People will think we're poor. What is Ryan like? And this was a time when I'd say something like, oh, I don't know, maybe a Tamagotchi? My mum would say, what the fuck is a Tamagotchi? It's a bit of fun, it's like a key ring. You've got to give it food and water, keep it alive, make sure it doesn't die. And I remember my mum saying to me, we've been doing that for you for 9 years! None of that is a bit of fun! Anyway, get the Tamagotchi, bring it home, wrap it up. Then your mum would whiten your trainers using a special magic whitening fluid. They came in a special magic bottle with a round sponge at the end. And I'd always say, Mum, why are you doing that? And she'd say, it's because I want people to know I care about you. Which, to be honest, I didn't know was in question. And then you'd be driven around to Ryan's house complaining all the way. Your mum saying, you'll enjoy it when you get there. Knowing full well, you wouldn't. You'd get there, you'd be allowed to walk up the path on your own. In the background, you'd hear the sound of meow, which was your parents fucking off. Deserting you for the afternoon with these strangers, like you walk up the path to ring the doorbell. Ryan's mum, Anne, would answer the door. Anne was having a very stressful time. Anne, because she was organising the birthday party and the party bags. And party bags back then were very stressful. Like party bags now, I'm sure, are just all iPads and tarama salata. But back then, it was a tiny plastic bag filled with felt tip pens, a box of Smarties, a tube of refreshers, and then a tiny game where you had to get a ball bearing into a hole. So now, right? And so Ryan's on and say, come into my house, take your shoes off. Spend most of your time, as a child, taking off your shoes and bring them back on again. Which was always very stressful for me because I didn't learn to tie my shoelaces until quite late. And my parents would always say to me, what are you going to do when you grow up if you can't tie your shoelaces? I mean, your tracing skills are already bad enough. What are you going to do when you grow up if you can't tie your shoelaces? And I'd always respond by saying, duh, espadrilles? Still had to come out. So, you'd go into the party, right? You'd give Ryan his birthday present. You'd hope no one had bought him the same thing. Inevitably, someone had. Probably someone like Kevin, who was my arch enemy in my class. Arch, because he was also gay. And he didn't even have the courtesy to hate himself for it. Can you imagine how obnoxious that was? Saying things like, oh, Anne, I like your curtains. No, Kevin, that's my special thing. And then you have to go in and meet Ryan's dad. And you never met people's dads back then because they were always out having affairs. Working. And this is a time, bear in mind, when it's completely fine to transport 15 children in one stranger's car. There'd be 3 of you sellotaped in the front, 10 of you in the back, all in shell suits. I mean, if the pattern's so tiny, if you went over a speed bump, you could rub together, you could catch fire, and then 2 of you would have to travel in the boot. It's all right taking the parcel shelf off so you can breathe. But remember, if you see the police, get down! And then you get to like the mega bowl, right? You run in, you have to take your shoes off again. I don't know why I bothered putting them on in the first place today. You have to take your shoes off for the bowling. Because as we all know, the floor of the 10-pin bowling is so precious, it's a magic wooden floor, you cannot wear outdoor shoes on it. We all know this, it's a rule, we all know very precious wooden floor, cannot touch it with outdoor shoes. It's a bit like the floor of the gym at secondary school, high school, where you go for year assembly. Did you do that? Like where if you went in there, you had to take your shoes off. Everyone had to do it, it was a right fact. Everyone had to do it except for that one girl. Do you remember that one girl? Never had to take her shoes off. Do you remember? Always allowed to wear trainers. Do you remember? Always carrying crutches. Do you remember that girl? Always carrying crutches. Never seemed to need them though, did she? Never seemed to need them. Always had glandular fever or twisted ankle. Always had a note to get out of PE. What was wrong with her? No one knew. No one knew. Where is that come out? Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Well, she's dead. So then you'd go into the bowling, and then it would dawn on you had no idea how to bowl because you were 9 years old and you weren't Roseanne Barr's husband. And you'd go in, all the other kids staring at you, go, I don't know why he's been invited, he's no good at sport. You try and prove something, so you choose a ball that was far too heavy for you. You could better get your fingers around it. You pick up this ball, you drag it to the end of the lane, lob it into the middle of the lane, and somehow it would immediately end up in the gutter, and that would be the end of your experience of bowling. And I remember thinking, even then, why is this floor so precious we cannot wear outdoor shoes on it? But it's completely fine to take a 15-kilogram marble and smash it in the middle of it. And then you have to go back to Ryan's house after that for a birthday tea, which Anne would have organised resentfully. And a birthday tea back then would have consisted of crisps and chocolate together, which is disgusting. And pink wafers, do you remember those pink wafers? Oh, pink wafers, oh, they're so delicious. Oh, they taste of pink, oh. What are they made of? Sillet bang? Nobody knows! And then you'd have party rings. Oh, party rings. Never as much fun as they sound. Party rings. And what is a party ring? Anyway, it's basically just a dried up biscuit covered in enamel. And just as you're trying to get your teeth through that, suddenly the lights would go out, and I'd always think, oh my God, are we being raided? But no, then what would happen is suddenly Anne would re-emerge quite satanically underlit by flames. And she'd walk in going, ha, 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 happy birthday to you. It's supposed to be the happiest day of the year. We sing children the most dreary song in the whole world. And then Ryan would have to blow out his candles. He basically just spit all over a cake. Make a wish, Ryan, maybe for a dry cake. But you'd never get to taste it because Anne would whisk it away into the kitchen, chop it up into chunks, shove all of these chunks in a paper Transformers napkin, put all these chunks in her party bags, hand those out, and then turn to everybody and go, get the fuck out of my house! Oh, it was a wonderful time to be alive. And people often say, like, why do you talk so much about childhood and suburbia? And I think it's because, as I say, I've been living with a couple. They're called Dad and Mum. And people sometimes say to me, do your parents really speak that differently to you? And I say, yes. And the example I like to give is, I remember when I was a child and I was waiting to be picked up from school, from primary school. I was just standing there at the end of the day with my teacher. She was crying. And I was just standing there at the school gates waiting to be picked up. And then my mum appeared in her car and she saw us and she wound down the window and she shouted, "Here, Tom, where have you been? I've been waiting up the end of the road like a cunt!" See you tomorrow! We're not cut from fancy cloth, you see, and I'm sorry to use that dreadful word, Wendy, especially when you've worn that lovely top. And, like, as well, my mum likes to give me abreast of her news and that of her friends. Like, she told me about her friend Joyce recently. She said, Joyce is trying to do herself in. I said, oh my God, how shocking. She said, yeah, we're all surprised, because she's only just had her kitchen done. I had to explain to her, sometimes mental health and home improvement don't always go hand in hand. The one is sometimes used to mask the other. And, like, Joyce is actually quite a good indication of my life in suburbia. Like, we've known her for years. Very old friend of the family. She's a friend of the family who I wet myself in front of as a child. And I think it's always difficult to have an adult conversation with someone who's seen you naked while they tumble dry your trousers. And to be honest, it couldn't have happened in front of a worse person, because Joyce is very highly strung. You know those people who are just worried about everything all the time. Like, she's very worried about the rise of ISIS. She's also worried about a lot of local cats that have been going missing. She's been worried that the cats have been joining ISIS. And for a time there, she was very worried about some tickets she bought to see Cliff Richard. But that's fine now. And she's got one of those faces as well that's always contorted into the look of panic, anger, and yet regret. So she's always walking around like this. And then sometimes she'll use her eyebrows to replace a word. So like once she said to me, oh, that woman next door, she's... Turned out the woman next door was a chiropractor. Anyway, Joyce has had a difficult life. She's had a couple of husbands. We don't know where they've gone. And a little while ago, she decided to cheer herself up by getting her downstairs toilet done. Not a euphemism, thank you, Graham. And she got this toilet done based on a toilet she'd seen at Gatwick Airport. It was her dream toilet, and she found the whole process quite stressful. Like at one point she said, oh my God, the plumbers had left the old toilet out the front of the house. What if the neighbours start using it? But eventually it was done, and then she decided to have a party to show off this toilet. Right, well, it was supposed to be for her birthday, but we all knew what it was for. So we all got invited round. Well, Mum and Dad got invited round, and they said, we're not going to pay for a sitter. So I got to go as well. And we get there, we ring the doorbell. Before Joyce had even had a chance to answer the door, Mum turned to me and said, "Now, listen, don't say anything. She's just had her hair done, and she looks like Barry Manilow." Sure enough, one voice opened the door, and in stepped Copacabana. And Mum says, "Oh, I like her hanging baskets, Joyce." "Oh, they're all dead." And the party truly began. Now, as well, Joyce had tried to be organised for this party, and she'd done an online shop for the buffet. Trouble is, she'd never done an online shop before. She didn't understand about the amounts. Somehow, she'd managed to order 8 kilograms of ham and 1 bag of salad. You've never seen so much ham in all your life. Except for maybe in this performance. Am I right, Derek? But there was rolled ham, there was folded ham, there was ham sandwiches where the bread was ham! And the thing is, I walked into this party, right, and all my parents' friends, they're all desperate to let me know that they are down with the puffs. They're fine with the puffs, it's fine everyone, they're fine with it, they're down with the puffs. And it's quite a big leap for them because they all are a certain type, like they all like to read a certain newspaper, a newspaper called the Dundee. Do you know the Dundee, the Daily Mail? It must be the truth because it's written in Tudor and like my mum and dad buy it and then they leave it out around the house to taunt me with it. Like they'll leave it out on the puff. Except they don't call it that anymore since suddenly it became a footstool. We did this party going, "Our son's a footstool now, we're very proud of him." And at one point, I was at the party, wedged between the hi-fi stack system and the buffet which had a beautiful tablecloth on it, made of ham. And Joyce comes over, she says, "Would you like any more ham?" "No, thank you, Joyce." She said, "Now, can I ask you a question? By the way, whenever anyone says that to you, you should always say, no." Those people, they never give you a chance to respond, do they? She said, "Can I ask you a question? When did you first know that you was..." And I said, "Well, I've never been a chiropractor." She said, "No, when did you first know you was, gay?" That's a very difficult question to answer that. When did I first know I was gay? I get it asked quite a lot, actually. When did I first know? It's not an easy one to answer. It's not like I can just go, "Oh yeah, 12th of March, that was right. Yeah, that seemed pretty gay." I thought to myself, get the Barbara Streisand ready. Let's go out bumming. And there's a lot more to it than that, may I say. A lot of straight people love to get caught up on what the gays do in bed. Oh, the gays, they love anal sex, don't they? They love it at the bar, they do it all the time, they love anal sex. I don't know what the girls do, there's nothing there. But the boys, they love anal sex, they do it all the time. And I feel like saying, we do other things. I mean, some of us have got jobs. A friend of mine's an accountant. He's dreadful. And anal sex actually don't. But anyway, no, and I know a lot of you will be sat there going, "I don't know why he's got to be so unkind about everyone all the time. Why is he always looking down his nose, being such a snob to everybody?" And the truth of the matter is, ever since I was very young, I always knew something about myself, and I knew I had to keep it buried, deep down, inside. And at times, it felt like I was carrying around a sort of concrete block, actually. But somehow, from a very early age, I just knew that I was... better! Better than everybody else! Better than Joyce and her stupid ham parties. Better! And you're at school, I went to a very ordinary school, very ordinary, comprehensive school. Is your school a comprehensive school? Yes, ordinary. Yeah, right. Is it a bit rough? Not really. No, I got that. Vibe from you. Do you get picked on? No. Have you had to stick up for yourself in a fight? No. Not in Arbroath. Do people fight?
Yeah.
In Dundee, you're from. Do they fight in Dundee? They do, but they're coming out of pubs. That Helen runs. Helen hasn't married them. But no, I remember my school, it's the sort of school where people would actually come up to you and say things like, "Hey, do you want to fight, dear? Do you want to fight? Is that why you look at me like that? You want to fight, yeah? So you want to fight?" And I'd always just say, "Oh, no thank you. But thanks for thinking of me. Bye. 'Cause 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 bye. 'C And at my school, like to try and blend, everyone tried to blend in. There was this sort of oppressive sense of normality, and like everyone had the same, like even down to even little details. Everyone had the same pencil case. It was a pencil case that was made to look like a packet of Walker's crisps, and in it everyone had the same Oxford math set, the Oxford math set, which arrived in a tin pencil case, and which consisted of a ruler, maybe a foldable ruler for travel, and a foldable ruler, which was great for underlining things, wasn't it? Until you got to the middle. Bump in the middle, and then a set square and a compass. Oh, I'm glad I learned how to use a compass. Not a day goes by. It's a perfect circle. And then you get to do like proper grown-up math. So you guys do like proper, or math as they call it in America, don't they? Math, but we do it more than once. And do you do like trigonometry? Like Soccer. Do you still learn it like that? Soccer. Do you do that? Soccer. Last year. Sorry. Alright, sorry. Soccer, where sine equals opposite over hypotenuse, cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse. I mean, now as an adult looking back, it would have been nice, wouldn't it, if they'd spent maybe half an hour, or even just like 10 minutes, just 10 minutes going, this is a pension scheme. And this is how you fill in a tax return, this is how you get over a broken heart, this is how you tell an estate agent to fuck off! But they don't do that, they don't tangent equals opposite over adjacent, which is good to know because sometimes you do find yourself in a triangle. And the thing was, at my school, right, everyone always tried to blend in, so even like with the bags and stuff, everyone had to have the same bag, so at my school everyone had record bags. I walked into the playground on the first day at school carrying a briefcase. And my parents gone out and got me this briefcase, and they'd even gone to the trouble of having it monogrammed, you know, with my initials. I imagine they thought that would make it easier to identify the body. And so my only respite from it was if you hung out in the school music rooms at break time, because the school music rooms were a great place to go and hang out with all the other 13-year-old homosexuals who didn't yet realise they were homosexuals and their chatty female friends. And it was a great place to go and learn how to play a show tune on the flute. Not a euphemism, Graham. And if you hung out in the school music rooms long enough, it probably meant you were part of the choir. And if you're in the choir, that meant you got to go on the school music trip to France. And I thought, oh, I can't wait to go to France, because I'll fit in there like a pastel macaroon. Still have to come out. Anyway, so this was a coach trip, by the way. Like back then, like kids now, I think they're much more used to going by plane to places. I think they fly. But back then, if you went anywhere with the school, you had to go by coach. Like, it didn't matter where you were going. If you're going to Australia, you'd still go. Or you could go to the end of the road, still go by coaches. So, and this was supposed to be a 5-day trip to France. And even from where I lived, in southeast London, it took 2 days to get there, and 2 days to get back. It was basically a day in France. Right, and then we made to rehearse for this concert we were doing. They didn't tell us where it was going to be until we got there. Turned out it wasn't a concert in a concert hall, nor was it in a theatre, nor was it in a church. We were doing a concert in an old people's home, just outside Alsace-Lorraine. I mean, as if these elderly French people weren't confused enough. The sight of a busload of 13-year-old English homosexuals and their chatty female friends and their flute cases. I mean, we bounded in there. We sang them a selection of songs from The Lion King, an excerpt from Fauré's Requiem, and then the theme song from The Muppet Show. In French, c'est ton qui monte sa musique et dans le maquillage, c'est ton qui monte sa musique sur le mur de pièce ce soir. Me, they lived through a Nazi occupation. All these people wanted was peace, genuine peace. So you had to make the best of this coach trip, right? And I sat next to my friend Kevin, who you might remember from Ryan's birthday party. And Kevin and I did go to the same secondary school, and we did become friends. And Kevin actually got picked on quite a lot. He was bullied more than I was. People would say to him things like, "Hey Kevin, you're gay, aren't you? We're going to beat you up because you're gay." And Kevin would always respond by saying, "How do they know?" Because the thing at my school was a lot of the straight boys learned to talk by copying their dads. But a lot of the gay boys had learned to talk by copying their mums. So imagine, if you will, a 13-year-old boy saying, "Oh, if I have one more pain au chocolat, I'll be speaking French." Or on another occasion we had, "Oh, don't mind me, it's just my time of the month." What are you talking about, Kevin? Oh, it's just something my mum says. It's basically where I'm feeling like really emotionally volatile, but physically really present. That's how they know, Kevin. That's how they know. So, Kevin and I sat next to each other on the coach, right? He was a bit nervous. He didn't want to sit on the back seat because he'd heard that's where you can get pregnant. And it was reserved for percussion anyway. So we sat near the front, near the teachers. Teachers got quite annoyed with him at one point. Said to him, "No, Kevin, you're not getting off the coach. How many more times 13-year-old boys do not have hot flushes?" But for me, the best bit was when you got to stop off at the French hypermarket, which was a big deal, I think, back then. French hypermarket. And it was very exciting because I thought, for me, it would be a great place for me to show off how much better I am than everybody else, because I've actually been paying attention in French. And I can say words like oui and like d'accord. So we got to the French hypermarket, or as I insisted on calling it, the hypermarché. And we got all the other kids bounded off the coach to go and buy a metre of boiled sweets and to go and look at pornography. And I didn't want to do that, right? I wanted to take it all in. So I went to the boulangerie and the charcuterie and the fromagerie. I skipped the lingerie and I went over to the patisserie to practice my French. Now, the problem with the way they teach us how to speak French, or any language, is they teach us how to speak it, they do not teach us how to hear it. So I got over to the patisserie counter and I said to the man there, "Bonjour, je voudrais un croissant, s'il vous plaît." And according to the French classes, the man behind the counter should have responded by saying, "Oui." Il y a un croissant ici. Which, when you think about it, is basically the equivalent of someone coming over here and saying, "Hello, I'd like to buy a pasty, please." And then the man behind the counter responding by saying, "Yes!" "There is a pasty here!" And not even mentioning that it's part of a meal deal. So I said, "Bonjour, je voudrais un croissant, s'il vous plaît." And then the man behind the counter responded in normal French by going, absolutely no idea what I said. Kevin was no help. The only French he spoke was the French horn, which is a euphemism, Graham. This man's going, blah, 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 blah. Absolutely no idea what he was saying. I mean, I said they teach you how to speak French. Most of the time they just teach you how to sing it. I mean, I could have stood there and gone, "Get a doctor, ton anniversaire, get a doctor, ton anniversaire." But the idea of a 13-year-old English homosexual standing in the middle of a French hypermarket going, "What is the date of your birthday? What is the date of your birthday?" Couldn't be any more absurd. So I just responded by going, "Oui, oui, d'accord, d'accord." Ended up with 8 kilograms of ham. One bag of salad. Maybe I wasn't better than everybody else. Now, what we're going to do now, is have a little break now. Have a little break. We'll get some drinks and get some drugs. Let's get really fucked up. Thank you. No, have a little break now. How long do you think we need? How long would you give everybody, Wendy? 10 minutes? Really? 10 minutes, that's all? Really, 10 minutes? Okay, all right, Wendy's spoken, so that's it. 10 minutes, that's all. Not 20, I was going to say 20.
Oh, no.
No, Wendy, you're having your way. It's your night too. That's the way Wendy wants it. Fine, she wants everyone to have a shit time. That's Wendy. That's Wendy. That's the way Wendy is. Fine. Well, we'll have a break, somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes. Gonna get a little drink now. What are you gonna get, Graham? What are you gonna get to drink? Ooh, again. Not an answer. Well, we'll look forward to more on that story after the break. But thank you for being so lovely. I'm having a nice time, and I hope you are too. So I'll see you in about 10 or 20 minutes. Thank you very much. Good. What did you get up to, Helen? What did you do? You had a what? Diet Coke, that's all you had. We don't want a drink. It's like a busman's holiday then, isn't it? And I did hear a rumour, Helen, that your pub isn't in Dundee, it's in Flibbity Blubber. What? Broughty Ferry, yeah, that's what I just said. Broughty Ferry, and that's the posh bit of Dundee, and you led us all to believe you were running some sort of Albert Square EastEnder affair. Yeah. And you're in Flibbity Ferry. It's posh there, is that right? But yes, people over there, annoyed about it. Have you always lived there then? You live in Dundee but you go out to the pub? You don't live above the pub? No, why not? It's too much work. Do people live above there, or do you just keep... No one lives there, you just use it for storage of all the crisps. It's nice, isn't it? And you, I didn't say hello to you properly, what's your name? Mark, welcome to the show, Mark. Are you having a nice time? Who are you here with? You're here on your own, Mark. Oh, you could have said hello to Graham. But, oh, too late now, what a shame. Oh, Mark, where are you from? Are you from here? You're at Arbroath, yeah? What do you do? Retail, what do you sell? What sorts of, all sorts of things. That doesn't say anything, you're sounding like thingy on the air. What? White goods, fridges, dishwashers. Ooh, what's your favourite? So difficult to choose, isn't it? So do you have meal? Do you have meal? Do you sell meal once? Meal? No. And so you sell those in... You don't sell in Broughty Ferry, basically. No. Because I'm thinking, Broughty Ferry, am I saying right? I think they have meal there, right? It's the fancy one. It's the fancy one. And oh, that's nice. Have you always lived here?
No, I
Used to live in Glasgow, but you moved here. People screaming in terror and just the mention of the place. What bit of Glasgow are you from? Royston, yeah. And then where did you move to then?
I moved to
Kirkintilloch. Again. That sounds nice. I've never been to Kirkintilloch. Is it the West End? I've only been. Bear in mind, I've only been to the West End. Is it near there? Is it near where the posh and the gay live? I wouldn't have been there, Mark. I wouldn't have been there, I'm afraid. I don't want to. Would I not like it there, Mark? It's been a long time. You've been in Arbroath for a long time. You like it here? There's worse places to be in. Not a generous thing to say about the place you live in. No. What's the best thing about Arbroath?
the sea.
The sea. Ominously said, if you don't mind me saying so. The coast. Do you like an Arbroath smoky? You get sick of them every day. Oh, when can we have something else? Chips or something. Oh, do you like them? Yeah, right. You're tall. You must like fish. That's what I was always told as a child. Want to grow up tall, eat fish. I didn't, and I'm not. So have you said hello to these people? Seem nice, don't they? What is your name? Oh, you're the one with the cough. We haven't got long. Quickly. Teresa. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, Teresa. You from Arbroath? Yeah, what'd you do? Social worker. Oh, another do-gooder we got here, Wendy. Oh, in Arbroath. Dundee. In Dundee, social worker. You like it? Ooh, busy? Very busy. Oh, okay. Who are you here with? Your sister? Hello, sister of Teresa. Not Mother Teresa. She's not available tonight. Mother of Teresa wasn't available. Sister of Teresa, though. Name? Quick. Moira! What are you doing? Apart from eat ice cream. After the interval. Is it too hard? I hate that with ice cream when it's too hard. You've got the soft bit on the top that you can eat, and then you've got to chisel down to that hard bit underneath. Everybody else managed it, but you had a problem. Moira, what happened? Tell us. What flavour? Strawberry. Do you always go for strawberry? No, don't always go there. Are you don't stop, enjoy yourself. You've got to live your life. What do you do? You work at a school, what do you do? You're early years practitioner. Is that what we used to call a teacher? Early years practitioner, what's that? Like a nursery nurse with the plants. It's been silly now, Graham. A practitioner, so nursery, so you do the little ones. Oh, do you like that? Bit annoying though, right? What are you even talking about? Doesn't make sense. Oh, tiresome. In Dundee? No? Arbroath? Oh, there can't be that many nurseries, so people must know you. Do they? Do we know more? Oh, and do you know these people on the end? Have you said hello here? No, again, Arbroath. It's not friendly, is it? No, we've got enough friends, thanks. Hello, glasses on a string, in case people steal them. You can't be too careful in Arbroath. Where are you from? Dundee? The West End of Dundee. The West End? Dundee has a West End. What happens there? Is that the theatre district? What's it like in the West End of Dundee? Tell us. Posh, good, I like it there. And that's the posh bit of Dundee, alright. And what do you do there? Have a bit of Dundee cake, I imagine? Yeah, all day. Have you been to the V&A yet? Yes, I've been over there. First day, weren't you? I can tell. No? What day? You were in Germany? Well, we didn't ask your life story. But we started, so we'll finish. Well, firstly, who are you? What is your name? I didn't ask my other names. What is your name? Margaret, of course it is! And, perfect, Margaret. And your name, madam, please? Maz, short for? Master? Master? Like the car? I mean, master, like the car? That means light. Does it mean light, master? Does it? Yeah. Good point. We're not going to argue about it. Let's not fall out about it, master. Maz. I thought you were both called Margaret. So, Margaret, you didn't go to the V&A on the day one because you're in Germany. Well, what were you doing there, Margaret? We're all desperate to know. What were you doing in Germany? Margaret, don't pause for too long. People will think something sinister happened while you were in Germany. You visited your pen friend? Margaret, your life is so different to Ellen and Derek. Can you imagine? Can you imagine having a pen friend? Ellen, even a friend you had told to fuck off. Oh, I'm sorry, I swear. But that's adorable, isn't it? For the younger people, pen friends were what we used to have before the internet. And how did you find a pen friend? It was usually through school or something, wasn't it? Through the schools would be linked up. Did you ever do it? Oh, you still do it. But would you do it over email now? Yeah, you do it over email. So it's okay. And Margaret, I had to stretch myself just to get you. I'm so riveted by this story. So your pen friend. So you've been writing to her all these. I mean, not that many years, but you've been writing to us in school. 5 years. 54. That's how old you are. Oh, Margaret. No. You're not older than 54? Well, you look good on it, Margaret. Well done. Living in the West End as a rich person has done you a lot of good. So had you met the pen friend before? Oh, many times. And where does the pen friend live? Würzburg? Ja, danke, genau. Und sie ist super fun, oder nicht? Super fun? When I went to Berlin, people just kept saying super fun, but it might be a gay thing. Oh, well that was fun. And then have you been to the V&A since? Yes, and what did you think of the gift shop? Terrible gift shop, Margaret, why? Not good, what do you like to buy? Margaret, I imagine, when you go to a museum or a gallery, Margaret, you are the person who buys that silk scarf. Am I right? No, you wouldn't buy it. What do you want in a gift shop? Tell me and I'll speak to them. What do you want to see in the V&A gift shop? Nicer things than what they've got. What do they have? Pencil sharpeners? Or the tat? Absolute dog shit. Margaret. I can talk to you all evening. Well, it's lovely to meet you. And it's been lovely to meet the rest of you. Really, Margaret. So, how nice. No, okay, right, well, no, what I was going to say is, no, I won't sit down because it undermines the job title. I don't want you all to think I'm a failure just because I live at home with my mum and dad, because one of the things I recently did is I finally passed my driving test! Again, you wouldn't clap if you'd seen me drive, and I'm not very good at it. I found the whole process very stressful, and people aren't much help, you know, if you're feeling stressed about it. Like, I feel nervous. If you say to someone, oh, I'm feeling nervous, the only advice they give is to go, oh, don't be nervous! Oh, thanks very much, I hadn't thought of it like that. It's like if you're crying and someone goes, oh, don't cry. Oh yeah, I'll just switch it off, shall I? Anyway, so, I had 3 tests, driving tests, thank you, Graham, and the third one went very well, although at one point the examiner was scrabbling at the door. And it was as we were leaving a roundabout, and I saw her do it, and I went, oh my god, I've done it wrong, haven't I? I failed, sorry, that one. I failed, I've done it wrong, haven't I? Let's go back, I can't bear it. She went, no, it's alright, it's just that I asked you to take the 5th exit off the roundabout, and you've taken the 4th exit off the roundabout. I said, well, I've done it wrong then, haven't I? I failed, let's go back, I can't bear it. She went, no, it's alright, we can't fail you for not being able to count. Isn't that terrifying? So, anyway, we got back to the base, because they work out of the base, don't they? Like the army, if the army fought with clipboards. And we got back, and she said, thank you very much, Tom. And then there was this big pause, and I thought, oh, I hope she's not going to tell me that I haven't passed, because it'd be dreadful to be told I was a failure by a person in a gilet. And so thank you very much, Tom. I can tell you, you have passed your test! And it's a wonderful feeling when you pass your driving test, but then it dawned on me that then what I had to do is I then had to learn how to drive. So I went back and I told my parents, and they were really pleased. I think that was the look on their face. Their mouths dropped open. And anyway, they very kindly agreed to insure me on their car, because it's quite difficult to get insurance when you get distracted as easily as I do. Margaret. And so they agreed to insure me on their car, which is a Ford Fiesta Finesse. It's a 1.5 litre engine, it's from 2003, it's maroon, it goes with nothing! And there's moss on the back windows, there's gaffer tape holding on the wing mirrors. To quote the song, Grease Lightning, it's a real pussy wagon. And where I live is a place sort of southeast London, sort of Kent borders. Technically, I am a Kent, and I'm from a place called Bromley. And Bromley, if you've never heard of it, to give you an idea of what it's like, there's been a man on the high street my whole life with a fruit and veg stall, and he stands there all day long, and he goes, absolutely no idea what he's saying. He's always had strawberries, he's never had consonants. Right, and in Bromley, right, when people first pass their driving test, everyone has to go on this one rite of passage drive to an out-of-town shopping centre, which goes by the name of Blue Water. Now, if you've never heard of it, why would you? Just imagine the Emerald City. And the thing is, people in Bromley, right, they don't say, oh, we're going to go to Blue Water. Like, Mark, where's your local shopping centre?
In Arbroath.
In Arbroath? That's what it's called? The Abbey Gate, that's the shopping centre in Arbroath, is it? So, Mark, you might, yeah, that, almost. It's almost a shopping centre, or it's almost in Arbroath? It's almost a shopping centre. In what way is it not a shopping centre, Mark? Trades descriptions are hacked. Does it maybe not have many shops? Not many shops, okay. Fine. But, Mark, you might say, come on, let's get in the car. I'm going to get in the car. I'm going to go down to Abbey. I'm going to Abbey. But people in Bromley, they don't say, oh, I'm going to go to Blue Water. Instead, what they say is, I'm going to go to Blue Water! So they don't have any consonants. So, right, I decided it's a very stressful drive because you've got to go to get there. You've got to go on the motorway. How do motorways work? Don't even think about it. And I thought, I don't want to go on my own. I'll take someone with me. I know, I'll take my dad with me because I've got a good relationship with my dad, and I thought this would be a great way to end it. And so, right, and my dad, bear in mind, he is 77 years old. He's at a point in his life, he doesn't care what people think. He'll regularly end a conversation by going, I'm bored of you now! He was born like during the Blitz. And for most of my life he's been a coach driver, and he doesn't drive anymore, but he still works in the office. And when it's someone's birthday, before they do the ceremony of the they go around with a card, and everyone has to write in this card, and they write happy birthday, lots of love, happy birthday, all my love, it's too much love. So my dad has taken to writing in these cards, shove it! People respect him more. So, as well, bearing in mind the last thing my dad taught me how to do was how to box, and when I was a child and I was being picked on, and he was standing there going, it's alright, you just got to punch my hand, that's all you're going to do, just punch my hand. I was cowering in the corner going, no Dad, no, I can't deal with confrontation, it doesn't sound right in my accent. My dad was going, oh, I thought you'd be much better at this, I mean, you've already got the silk dressing gown on and everything. And so, right, we get in the car, right, there's already a tension in the Ford Fiesta. We're going to go Blois. There's a tension because my dad sees the road and driving very much as his world, right? And so we're going along, we come to some traffic lights, they're red. That means you have to stop. I've done the theory test as well. And I always get nervous stopping at the front of a line of traffic because I always think, oh my God, everybody's looking at me. I really am smashing stereotypes, left, right, and downstage centre. So, right, so we go along, we come to some traffic lights, they're red, and we stop. And then we wait for the lights to go from red to amber to green, and I go to drive off, and then what happened is, I stalled the engine. And my dad, bless him, he turned to me, and he said, concentrate! Which is such a calming thing to say. He said, I am concentrating. He said, yeah, but you didn't, did you? You didn't, did you? It's like he's thinking, you didn't, did you? You never do, you didn't, did you? Anyway, by this point, the lights have gone back to red. I decided to put the radio on because I'd heard music can be calming, though on this occasion they were playing Tracy Chapman's Fast Car, which is actually my favourite song, but on this occasion it did feel like Tracy was really rather mocking me. And then what happened during this time is another car pulled up behind us, and this car was a BMW. Now, if you don't know much about driving, BMW drivers are the nicest drivers in the world! So I waited for the lights to go from red to amber to green. I went to drive off, and again, I stalled the engine. Dad goes, concentrate. I said, I am concentrating. He said, yeah, but you didn't, did you? You didn't, did you? And then what happened is, to make matters worse, the BMW driver behind us then bipped his bipper. Bipped his bipper? What would you say, Margaret? Bipped his bipper? Bipped his bipper? What would you say, Margaret? Bipped his bipper? Horn? Would you say horn on its own? Have you ever used a verb before, Margaret? Horn? What am I supposed to say? The BMW driver behind us, horn? Frankly, don't be so disgusting, Margaret. The BMW driver behind us then bipped his bipper. My dad, rather than placating the situation, turned round and gave them the middle finger, at which point they just leant on their bipper, on their horn, if you must, Margaret. I panicked, just drove off. I don't know what the lights were doing at this point. I think there may be people still on the crossing. In fact, I think I saw that girl from school, still on her crutches. See if she needs those, right? We drove off, then the BMW pursued us, then they overtook us, and then someone leant out of the passenger window and shouted at us, you fucking cunt! And I'm sorry to use that dreadful word again, Wendy, especially when you've got that lovely top on. I immediately turned to this Victorian schoolgirl going, but why, Dad? Why are people so mean, so cruel, so unkind? My dad responded by explaining, it's 'cause they're sags! They're load off, they're scum, tell them to fuck off! So I can't tell them to fuck off, it doesn't sound right in my accent. But tell them to fuck off, do something right for once in your life. So I had to do it, didn't I? I had to do it. Fuck off. Then we were behind them, behind them, going, show them your anger, show them, flash your lights on them, flash your lights on them. I went to flash my lights at them. I turned on the windscreen wipers. It was like a pride parade coming up behind them. Water going everywhere. Dad's going, concentrate. I said, I am concentrating. He said, yeah, but you're dead, I'm dead. You're dead, I'm dead. And don't worry, everyone, because I did get my own back on my dad, because a little while after this, I decided to take my parents out. Not in like a drive-by. Though I could do with a house. And I decided to take them out for the afternoon, and I took them to the Tate Modern Gallery in London, and the Modern Art Gallery on the south bank of the River Thames. Beautiful gallery, very much my world, you know, a gallery. I thought we were having a lovely time looking at all the modern art. I don't know if there is a limit, though, to the number of times you can hear two baby boomers exclaim, well, I could have done that! To which I was very happy to respond, yeah, but you didn't, did you? And the thing was, Margaret, we had to keep going to Bluewater. It was like the Canterbury Tales. And we had to keep going. Eventually we got there. I saw the lights of John Lewis. I thought, oh, thank God, I'm home. And I found a parking space. I stopped the car. I went to put the handbrake on. And as I went to put the handbrake on, I realised it was already on. That's how good a driver I am. I was concentrating so much I put it on before we left. So, driving is interesting, but what I've learned through it is that people are dreadful. And not, you know, like other people are dreadful, but not us, other people. Hell is other people. And I think that's why, actually, people being dreadful is why I've been, for most of my life, single. Let's make out that's a choice. And last year, I had probably the longest relationship of my life, which was for 6 months. Not very long, is it? 6 months. Up until that point, all my relationships have consisted of staring at people on trains. And I went out with this guy. Yeah, it's a guy, Graham. Don't make such a big deal about it. I don't really like to talk about my sexuality, actually. And I went out with this guy for about 6 months, and we had a nice time, and then we broke up. And people go out with each other, they break up, it happens all the time, it's completely fine. It's never fine, though! And then what happened is, I found myself playing a game of what I like to call Facebook Roulette. And that's basically where you check their Facebook profile every day to make sure they are having a shitter life than you. Because there is a bullet in there, and that bullet can be fired, and it was when I went on there and I saw he was dating somebody else. And, you know, people go out with people, they break up, they go out with other people, it happens all the time, it's completely fine. It's never fine! And this guy seemed like a really nice guy that he was hanging out with, going out with, dating, whatever you want to say. Like, they were having a lovely time. This guy had taken him to stay in a treehouse. That's nice, isn't it, going to stay in a treehouse? I mean, I would have taken him to stay in a treehouse, but I'm not a member of the Sylvanian families. Look great in the photos, though. And I got into a bit of a funk about all of this, and friends of mine, yeah, I've got friends, Graham, and friends of mine said, you know, you can't dwell on this, Tom, you've got to get back out there, start dating other people. Dating is so difficult. Like, I went on some dates. I went on a date, right, with a guy, right, turned out he wasn't even gay, he just really liked windsurfing. Then, I went on a date with a guy who was French. We got to the end of the evening. He said, would you like to see a French cock? Well, you know, I speak a bit of French. I said no, because it could have been a chicken. And then I went on a date with a guy. Turned out he was homeless. What have I got to win? So, it's difficult, right? And I do think we have to acknowledge that dating has changed for our era beyond what it ever was before. Because now, the main way people meet, one way or another, is actually online. Even you did it, online. And I do think the gays led the way with that. When I first came out, there was a website called Gaydar, and it was a bit like Facebook for gays, often without the face. And it came out around about the same time as things like Match.com, and they're not completely different. The main differences were, on Match.com, it would say, what are you into? People would put country walks, European cinema, cake sales. On Gaydar, it would say, what are you into? People would put fisting! Breath control, water sports. You know, people wee on each other during sex. Now, I don't know about anybody here, but I can't wee if I can hear voices. Sometimes I have to whistle a sea shanty. Take ages, Wendy. And then, you can think to yourself, no, I'm not going to meet people online. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm going to meet people in clubs and pubs and bars. But in a lot of these clubs and pubs and bars, Helen, you can't meet people because they play the music that's too loud. Do you play music in your pub? Yes, it's too loud. That music that's like, do you like that music? Who likes that music? And then in the middle of it, a woman's voice comes on and goes, good times, It's not a song, is it? Like, who is this woman who comes on in the middle? Can you imagine the recording session they had? Like, oh, Claire, thanks for coming in. Did you get the music in advance? Okay, great, just go through to the booth. That's great. Claire goes through, puts her cans on. Good times. Thanks so much, Claire. Let's see you come for the day. Music, and then, right, it all changed again, didn't it? When we all got the smartphones, or as I like to call them, the loneliness machines. And on there, we all got Tinder and Grindr. Grindr, if you don't know what it is, Grindr is the. Do you know what it is, Wendy? Grindr? Do you know what it is? Gary, do you know what Grindr? Grindr is the application for your iPhone, which tells you where your nearest gay man is. I mean, you don't need it now. But I always feel like I need to say to straight people, like, you do have to register for it. It doesn't just look at your iTunes. It tells you where your nearest gay man is. And I sort of realised it's never going to work for me because it's usually got a picture of a bloke with his top off, taken in his bathroom mirror on his phone. And I sort of knew it was never going to work for me when I found myself ignoring the person in the photograph and started judging him instead on the bathroom around him. Oh, dreadful grouting. I don't think we'd have anything in common at all. Looking at his products, links, Africa, what is this, 1996? He's probably got a Hotmail account and everything. And then, like, we're all supposed to be good at doing the chat, aren't we, on these apps, like, hi, how are you, fine, thanks, how are you, fine, thanks, how are you, ha, people say ha all the time, like they're laughing, ha. Of course, it's not them laughing, though, is it? It's them going, ha, I'm so lonely. And then, like, everyone's got to be good at doing the sexy messaging, sexy texting. Heard about this? Sexting. Everyone has to do it. Even heterosexual people, even middle-aged heterosexual people are sexting. People with names like Linda. Can you imagine Linda sexting? Someone with like a sideboard sexting. Someone with an in-and-out driveway. Not like that, Graham. Sexy. Can you imagine Linda trying to sex? Like, oh, please would you put your penis in my hip replacement? Oh no. It's wrong, it's disgusting. And as well, I had an experience where I thought these apps aren't going to work for me. See what you think about this, Arbroath, right? Somebody started a conversation. Wendy and Gary, Margaret Mans, join in, John. Somebody started a conversation with me by sending me a photograph of their asshole. What are you supposed to respond to that? I put, what an opening! I'm meeting for dinner next week. I don't know how I'm going to recognise him. It's not you, you're much too relaxed. And it's just people, isn't it? It's just people. But I have learned a lot about heterosexual people because I have been spending a lot of time in Pizza Express. And the straights love a Pizza Express, don't they? For a date night, because it's enough. And you know they're in love when you see them, and at the end of the meal, they get out a voucher! Oh, romance is alive and well. Or my favourite is when you see a slightly older couple go in with a look of sheer terror on their face, and they go up to the waiter at the beginning of the meal and they say, oh, hello, we have booked, don't worry, we have booked, we've definitely booked, and we've got a voucher, don't worry, we've got a voucher. But it says we don't need to print it off, we've just got it on our phone. Is that alright? Is it alright? Is that alright? Is that alright? It is, oh, thank God, it's alright, Norman. Oh, a marble table with a gerbera on it. Oh, things are right in the world. And I had an experience when I was in there a little while ago, and I was sat next to this heterosexual couple who weren't saying anything. Maybe because I was staring at them. And we got to the end of the meal, and then she piped up and went, "Where were we when we last had dough balls?" And I thought to myself, kill me now! This is what all these social media apps are selling us. This is what online dating is selling us. This is the reality, isn't it? The reality of any personal relationship is basically having a conversation about bread balls in a Pizza Express. And then it dawned on me, yeah, that's all life is, isn't it? That's the best you can hope for in life. And that's why we have these big weddings in a marquee. That's why people go to a tree house and take a photograph of themselves. I get it. That's why they take a selfie. Selfish, I get it. A selfish selfie, I get it. But, and even like big destination weddings, have you been invited to one of those where they go, "Oh, sell your kidneys to be able to afford to come to our wedding, or we'll never speak to you again. You've got to fly to Egypt." Yeah, that's not it though. Fly to Egypt, right, you've got to travel to the edge of the Sahara Desert, pick up a camel, travel through the desert for 3 days, have no food, no water. You'll be kidnapped by a militia, you'll be dragged through the desert, right, dragged, blindfolded, eventually you get there, stop the camel, right, undo the blindfold, and that's when you go, "Oh, I'm at the wedding." And that's when you go, "Oh, it's a pay bar, sure." I don't mind that even. The stuff I can't stand though is the paraphernalia that goes with it. And what I mean there are things like hen parties. Now, has anybody here been invited to a hen party? I get invited to them as the token gay. I never get invited to the stag parties. I don't know why, Mark. Maybe people think I wouldn't be very good at zip wiring through North Wales. And I get invited, right, and I got invited to this one. It's my friend Kate from school, and she was being organised, her hen party was being organised by her chief bridesmaid, Emma. And Emma is, how would you describe Emma? Emma is passive aggressive! And she sends out this email, we all get this email going, "Hi guys, hope you're well, it's Emma here, I'm organising Kate's hen party. It's been really stressful, actually." "Oh, shut up, Emma, don't do it then." So I kept the costs really low, because I know you guys can't afford very much. Rude! Then she said, "I've included all the information, make sure you read all the information, it's very important you read it." I kept it brief. She hadn't kept it brief. There was reams and reams and reams and reams of it. I thought, I'm not going to read this, I've never read Proust. So, I did what anybody would have done, and I ignored it. Then, 2 weeks later, I got another email from Emma going, "Hi Tom, hope you're well," which I knew she did not mean. She said, "Because I didn't hear from you about the hen party for my spreadsheet, nothing says fun like Excel." So, "Because I didn't hear from you about the hen party for my Excel spreadsheet, for my Excel spreadsheet, I just assumed that you're a yes." "What? You can't assume I'm a yes, Emma. I didn't tear off my slip at the bottom and fill in my contract." Anyway, I knew I couldn't get out of it because suddenly I was added to a WhatsApp group. What's up? I'll tell you what's up. I looked at my phone. I had 354 notifications from people I did not know. I'm in this WhatsApp group with the mother of the bride. We've all got to call her mum, her sister, Auntie Wendy. They're all sending selfies to each other, aren't they, all day? Except Auntie Wendy can't send a selfie, can she? Because she sends a video of her eyebrow. Twice. She's got my data or my storage has got, then something pink covers the lens at the end of the video, which you assume is a finger, but you don't like to ask. Then the day of it arrives, right, we were all going to go to this dream hen cottage that Emma's organised. Turned out this dream hen cottage was just outside Reading, very boring place. I had to drive myself there, pulled up on the gravel, stopped the car, put the handbrake on again. I donned a pink sash and a penis headdress, got out of the car, right? I could hear Emma answering the door in a steadily escalating pitch of excitement. "Oh my god, hi, you look amazing coming in. Oh my god, hi, you look amazing coming in. Ah! Oh, hi, Tom. Rude." Then, I had to go and introduce myself to all the other hens. Now, if there is one thing worse than being invited to a hen party as the token gay, it's if they've invited another token gay. And who was it? Kevin from school. Except he's turned into a better gay than me. Oh yeah, he's got a hat. You can't compete with that. He's trained as a dancer. He's got a feather boa on. He throws a dildo onto Wendy's face. She thinks he's hilarious. Anyway, we hardly got a chance to catch up because suddenly we're all being marched off by fucking Emma, to do these activities. And it was like being conscripted into national service. We started the day with a guacamole making class. What the fuck? It's a guacamole making class. You can't chop an avocado. It's basically just mush. Then we had to go to a tango lesson. A tango lesson at 11 o'clock in the morning. I can't do it. I haven't got the hips for it. Kevin Gann, he's actually very talented. Then we had to go on a gondola ride. A gondola ride round Reading. I mean, it's hardly Venice, is it, when you're going past a Matalan? People go, oh, it's just like St Mark's Square, isn't it? Or is that Asda car park? Then, that was interrupted because suddenly we wanted to get out. Suddenly we had to go for a crafternoon. What the fuck is a crafternoon? It's basically a stitch and bitch, Margaret. Anyway, we get in there. Kevin starts making a quilt. What sort of a pompous prick tries to make a quilt in one afternoon? I got the pastor out, tried to make a picture of a house. No one knew what I was doing. Then we had to make a cushion that looked like a heart. Mine looked more like a spleen. Then we're all being marched off by Emma to go back to the hen cottage. Okay, we're all in one car, all in one cab. Where am I? In the boot with Kevin. Get down, the police. Not like that, Kevin. Then we get back to the dream hen cottage and suddenly it's my allocated 12 minutes in the hot tub. Oh yeah, there's a hot tub. I had to get in it with Mum and Auntie Wendy. I got in it though, just as the bubbles stopped. Have you ever got in a hot tub as the bubbles stop? You're basically just getting in a bath with strangers. All of us staring at each other going, well, I guess this is live. Then, that was interrupted because suddenly we had to go in for Mum and Auntie Wendy's buffet. Oh my god, they always do a buffet, their buffets are legendary. Oh my god, you're gonna love their buffet. It was probably the worst buffet experience of my entire life. Bearing in mind, I can still remember Anne's birthday tea and Joyce's ham buffet. I went in there, I looked at this buffet, there was so much beige. It was so bland, it was like a buffet representation of Reading. They put out sausage rolls, right, where they just ripped off the cellophane and put the corrugated plastic straight down on the table. Like there were dogs! Then we had Scottish eggs. Cut into quarters, apparently no one can eat a whole one. Then we had breadsticks displayed in a pint glass. I thought I was at a fucking UKIP rally. Then the dips come out, don't they? The quadrant of dips, the 4 dips of the apocalypse. The white one, the other white one. There's a green one, what's that? And it wasn't guacamole from the class this morning. Then there's a pink one, what's that made of? Sillet bag? Nobody knows! Then Wendy comes in with this massive bag of crisps. I said, Wendy, do you want to put them in a bowl, make them look nice? She went, oh no, we all know where they've come from. Oh sure, Wendy, next time just bring out a fucking potato! Then she starts putting down cold pizza slices down next to wontons. I mean, no one's mixed Italian and Chinese cuisine like that since Marco Polo. Then she comes in with barbecue hula hoops. For dinner, barbecue hula hoops. For dinner, barbecue hula hoops. 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 For dinner, barbecue hula hoops. Barbecue hula hoops. Barbecue hula hoops. Barbecue hula hoops. Who's putting hula hoops on a grill? Then she came in with probably the biggest quiche I have ever seen. And I don't like quiche because it's basically just omelette pie. And I don't like savoury pastry. Sorry to get political with you, Margaret. She puts it down on the table. Then she just walks off. Then she goes, oh, I suppose I better cut that into slices. Yes, Wendy. No one wants to eat a whole fucking quiche. But we hardly got a chance to eat this horrible food off these greasy paper plates which are curled up at the side like some sort of taco from old El Paso. where the only filling was crisp crumbs, because suddenly we all marched off into the sitting room. Well, they called it a lounge, Wendy, they can't help it. We went into the sitting room to do karaoke. Well, I don't like doing karaoke because I don't like doing performances I haven't prepared for. I'm not always as amusing as I've been this evening. I got in there, Kevin was straight up on the coffee table doing a tap dance. I mean, it was like being in prison with Lionel fucking Blair! Then he's straight on the karaoke machine doing Dancing Queen, not even ironically, and that was going to be my song. Then all the hens turn to me and they go, well, Tom, what song are you going to sing? You're number 2 gay. Number 2 gay? How dare you? That's my favourite song. It's Fast Car by Tracy Chapman. It doesn't sound right in my accent, but I gave it my best shot. Baby got a fast car. I've got to leave inside of here and work in a convenience store. All these hens were looking at me confused, bored, angry. The bride to be was crying. I felt like running to the other room, grabbing that quiche off the table, running back in, smashing it in that Kevin's face, and turning to the rest of them and going, I can't be what you want me to be. You guys have been so much fun. Thank you very much for coming out tonight. To leave. I assumed it was a standing ovation. Well, I'm here now, so we may as well enjoy it. Are there any questions at this point? Are there any questions? You don't mind taking Margaret, any questions? Sure. Okay, fine. Wendy? I mean, I did talk about fisting at one point there. Anything wrong? What would my ideal hen be? Oh, that is a good question. No one asked me that. Probably just sitting down on my own. Sitting down on my own with a book. Have you had a hen party?
My sister's is coming and then mine will be after.
Your sister's coming, yours will be after what? So you're organising your sister's one? No. You're not. She didn't. Newcastle you're going to. Oh, is that? Naked men? Oh, I see, like a stripper. People call those strippers rather than just naked men. There's a sort of performance that goes with it, I think. Be a lot quicker, wouldn't it, if they just came out, right, I'm naked, okay? See what you wanted to see? Okay, good night. The what? You're going paintballing for yours. Well, don't do that naked. Where are you going to go paintballing? Don't know. She's organising it. Where have you organised? You should organise somewhere. Don't do it in Arbroath. Don't do it. You're not from Arbroath. Where are you from? Edinburgh. Oh, I've heard of it. Are there any other Edinburgh? What was it? Edinburghers? No, that's not. Is that what you say? It's very Germanic, isn't it, Margaret? Edinburgh. Yeah, the burgers. That's burgers. Hamburgers. Helen, any questions? No, Graham? Where did I get my suit? Walker Slater, actually, in Edinburgh. See? I buy local. They're great. Yeah, they're in Glasgow as well. They're nice. I mean, I think they're nice. Do you think I look nice? Don't answer. Yeah, Walker Slater, not Slaters. Walker Slater. You got your coat still on your lap, Graham. Are you in a rush? You what? What did you say, Graham? What did he say, Helen? I'll fuck him up. What did he say? He was hiding his erection. And you're straight. It is a great suit, though. Mark can come out for this. She's normally listening to Radio 4. I'm right, aren't I, Margaret? No, well, I thought, before I go, I'll tell you one last thing since we were doing. Was that right? Radio 4? Radio 3. Radio 3? No, 4, of course. Radio 4. All day just on in the background. I don't even know what's on. Just chopping onions. Where are you? Mass, are you the same area? The Isle of Thanet? The Isle of Thanet? Of Kent? What the fuck are you doing here? What? You're visiting what? Another pen pal, are you? Pamela and Margaret, these scams. Did she tell you she was a Nigerian prince and checked 500 pounds? How embarrassing. I've been named and shamed. There's no money there. She doesn't need your bank account. Margaret would be a great scammer. You could scam anybody. You know, just popping out the V&A. You could take whatever. No one's going to question you leaving the gift shop. You can fill up that lovely laminated bag for life you've got, and all the stuff, all the neckerchiefs you want. No one's going to say a fucking thing. It's Margaret, though. She can steal. It's a great ruse. Anyway. So where was I? Yes, me. And I thought before I go, I'll tell you one last story, which some of you might have heard me tell before, but I thought since we were talking about suburbia, I'll bring it up again. But I thought I'd tell you about a time when I lived in suburbia, in a simpler time, a long time ago, a time long before people were asking me questions like, when did you first know he was, It was a time, sort of when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and when I wasn't at birthday parties. One of the few things that were open to you during that time, the sort of early to mid-90s, the mid-John Major years, as we call them now. Nothing exciting happened during that time, unless you were Edwina Curry. But probably the most exciting thing you could hope to happen would be that your local authority would open up something they called a leisure centre. It was a centre for leisure, and what it basically meant is they built a swimming pool, but it wasn't an ordinary swimming pool. No, it was a subtropical paradise. And what that basically meant is they built a swimming pool that was designed to look like the sea. If the sea had been tiled. But you knew it was a subtropical paradise because it had one palm tree made of plastic, and then it had a huge Aztec display which culminated in a waterfall under which people would go to get fingered. It was a wonderful time to be alive. And they also had huge windows which overlooked the dual carriageway. And they also had a poolside cafe which felt impossibly glamorous, oh so continental. It basically meant you had to paddle through chlorinated water and then slip on a chip. Like they do in Paris, I imagine. But probably the best thing that could happen to you while you're in the subtropical paradise is they would start up something they called the wave machine. And the wave machine would be heralded with a siren, and the siren sounded a bit like this. Ah! And it didn't matter where you were, when you heard that siren, everyone would come wading into the water, and they'd come to hear the good news, and they'd come to be baptized. Everyone would wade, everyone would be there, everyone from your community would be there, like your mum's friend Joyce would be there, in a bikini. They would see you in a bikini, Joyce, beautiful bikini, made of ham. Kevin would be there, although he might be on a sun lounger pretending to be Elizabeth Taylor. But everyone would be there, and you come wading, wherever you felt most comfortable, up to your ankles, up to your knees, up to your hips, wherever you felt most comfortable. And then when the wave machine really got going, the best thing it would make you do is it would make you go like this. It was a wonderful time to be alive. But the wave machine would stop, as all good things must. And you'd know it would stop because suddenly you'd be greeted with a wash of plasters. The people had been healed. And then you think, no, I'm young, I want new experiences, I want to try something different now. And that is when you decide to have a go on something they called the flumes. And flumes were water slides which went outside of the building, because nothing is more exciting than being on a water slide over the car park. And right, to get on the flumes, right, you have to queue up on a staircase at the side. You have to stand on a staircase in your swimming trunks, basically in your underpants, on a staircase, getting cold. It's a very unusual feeling, I think, standing on a staircase in your underwear getting cold, unless maybe you have a lot of affairs. And you'd have to wait and wait. There'd probably be 2 flumes, but one of them would be closed because last week somebody died. And the flumes would be managed by a 16-year-old who had a whistle and no qualifications at all, and he'd be using some sort of red and green lighting system, the alchemy of which we could not possibly understand. And then when it was nearly your turn, you'd have to wait for ages. When it was nearly your turn, you'd get in position at the top of the flumes. You'd hold on to the hands at the side, otherwise you'd just be sucked off into oblivion. And when it was your turn, your special moment on the flumes, the 16-year-old would turn to you and he would say to you, "You can go now." And he'd launch himself off. Now, where the flumes had been manufactured rather cheaply during the mid-John Major years, they were made of panels of fiberglass which had been bolted together. And as you went over those joins, they would cut into your back like knives. Because you've been queuing so long, you were desperate to have a good time, so you'd be out on the flumes going, and then there'd probably be a trickle of water going through designed to lubricate your passage. But because of the cheap and shoddy manufacture, sometimes that trickle of water would have just trickled away, and suddenly you would find yourself in a dry pit. And because you were like 9 years old and you had no momentum, you'd just stop. You just don't think, "Oh my god, I can't get out. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Oh my god, am I dead? Is this what it is to be dead? Is that what the light is? Oh no, it's just the car park. Oh, what can I do?" And then you think, "Oh, thank God for the 16-year-old upstairs. He knows I'm here. He'll send for me. He'll send for me. It's all going to be fine. He'll send for me." And then at that moment, you'd look over your head, and that's when you'd see the shadow of somebody else. An anonymous ass in the sky. Somebody else on the flumes. You think, "Oh God, it's all on a timer. He doesn't care about me at all. He doesn't care." You try and scooch yourself along. There's nothing you could do. You'd have to surrender yourself to the moment. Eventually, you peer over your shoulders. You'd see the toes of somebody else, the legs, the whole body of somebody else coming around the corner. And that's when you'd realise it was your mum's friend Joyce. Legs akimbo. She'd smash into the back of you. Suddenly, you'd both be hugging along together like you're in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Side to side, side to side. You nestled in the bosom of her thighs. Side to side, to side to side. Both of you screaming for different reasons. Going so far, side to side to side. How would you ever stop? Would you ever stop? Eventually you'd be thrown out the other end of the flumes. You'd fly across the sky, past the palm tree, past the people getting fingered under the waterfall, and you'd land in the landing pool, and you'd look at each other in a way that said, "I never thought we were touched like that." Which also said, "We will never speak of this again." And that, Joyce, was when I first realised that I was gay. Thank you so much for coming out. It's been so nice to meet you. Thank you very much.